Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, president, founder of GST Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio and family office located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR talent company that I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe at GST that intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. Today, I want to talk about the future of family offices, AI, direct investing, and legacy. I want to talk about the way the world is shifting, and I'm excited to have my good friend Jason Mall, founder and CEO of 3EQ, investor, global advisor, and one of the world's leading mentors of next generation leaders. He spent decades working at the intersection of leadership, innovation, education, entrepreneurship, and global investment. He's advised prominent enterprises and single family offices during critical moments of growth and transformation. He's helped leaders navigate strategy, partnerships, execution, and major transactions. And as a longtime member of the B20, the business counterpart of the G20, Jason has contributed policy recommendations across 12 G20 presidencies, helping shape conversations around the future of work, AI, education, human capital, and economic development. He's also a globally recognized speaker, author, investor, and forum chair who recently moderated a compelling discussion on single family office trends into the age of AI at the Silicon Valley Economic Forum. Today, we're going to explore one of the most important shifts happening in global capital markets, how family offices are evolving in the age of AI, direct investing, private markets, and multi-generational wealth creation. We're going to discuss how founders can successfully engage family offices that investors are looking for today, how artificial intelligence is changing investment decision making, and what entrepreneurs must understand if they want to build companies that create lasting value and legacy. With that, I'd like to bring my friend Jason onto the show. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Gary. It's always a pleasure to meet you. Wow, what an introduction that was. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're amazing. So, Jason, family offices have quietly become one of the most important sources of capital in the world. How has the role of family offices evolved over the past decade, and why are they becoming increasingly influential compared to traditional venture capital and private equity firms?
Well, it's interesting. I've been in Silicon Valley. By the way, we had a great time, didn't we? At
Oh,
the
yeah, that was
family
fantastic.
office,
I always enjoy seeing you.
right? At the Silicon Valley Economic Forum, the flagship panel was a single family office in the age of AI panel. You were one of the four panelists that I moderated. We had a blast. The audience had a blast. So your show today is a nice segue to that. What I've observed is that in the past 52 years in Silicon Valley, I've been living here for a long time. And I travel the world, a couple of million miles, seen the world just like you, right? Global business, et cetera, et cetera. And in the Valley, in the past decades, you have, when it comes to investing, AI tech investing, the voice of the venture capitalists dominates all the conversations. You know that, right? And the angels is a distant second. But not many people knew about what family offices are, especially single family offices. Like you and I know that the median of a single family office, SFO, median net worth of AUM is about 400 to $600 million. The average AUM or net worth is a few billion. So there's a distinction between median and average, right? For those that are mathematically challenged, you probably don't understand what that means. But, that's part of like I've been around for a long time. You know me. I get invited to speak quite a bit in all sorts of family office and high net worth private wealth forums, AI tech, leadership, legacy, next gens, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? Last year, I started to decide to disrupt and to re-educate Silicon Valley. Hey, guys, it blows my mind that when you drop down menu for a lot of summits, they don't even have the line item family office. They got VC, angels, and others, entrepreneurs, but no family office. But the family office SFOs is approaching 6 trillion, if not 7 trillion, in total money under management. versus all the VC and PE firms combined, it's just a small fraction of what the family offices control. So traditionally, a lot of FOs invest as LPs into VC funds, PE funds, and other funds, right?
And they're getting tired of it too.
And they're getting tired of it because almost all of the SFO principal friends of mine, where the median net worth is multi-centimillionaire, almost all of them tell me, Jason, I'm actually not happy investing as an LP into these funds because it takes a long damn time. The returns are only very low. It's only a couple of X if you're lucky, okay?
Yeah.
You have to wait 7, 10, 12, 15 years. And then they find that the GPs, they play games all the time. Yeah. And I have to listen to all the mechanical things that I don't want to hear about. Because the LP GP structure is quite onerous in some ways that passes on to the entrepreneurs. One recent article that I wrote, and I'm recognized as a thought leader as well, right? Author, speaker. One of them is called Single Family Office and Ultra Net Worth Individuals, Investors, the Rise of Smart Direct AI Tech Investing. In that, I candidly, because God is love and truth, I'm just being truthful. I candidly cited what Vinod Khosla and Sam Altman recent conversation talked about, is that Vinod said, whether you like his politics or not, but I agree with his investment theses, right? He said 90% of the VCs don't add value to entrepreneurs. 70%, a vast majority of them actually hurt entrepreneurs. There's actually a lot of truth to that because I see a lot of idiots out there. There's some good ones out there. 95, 97 of the VC firms actually underperform, and it's like, if the SFOs like yourself, Gary, you have the repertoire, you build the skill set, you build the reputation, you're able to attract some of the best and the brightest, okay? If you do it directly, you can make a lot more money, have direct impact, and build a relationship and support the founders and the senior executives. Why don't you do that instead? And it kind of depends on what you do, right? You're not running, you are running a bit of an institutional play, but a lot of SFOs, they don't need to do that. They have total freedom to do what they want. They want freedom. They want better control. They want better returns. They want better happiness, better well-being. They get sick of playing all these games with these GPs, right? Now, a lot of my friends are GPs. I respect them to the max. And a bunch of guys from the King Kongs, Acquire Capital, know me as well. I respect them quite deeply, as well as a bunch of other top-tier VC firms. But whenever friends of mine come to me, Jason, I want to found a new VC fund. I say, don't. How are you going to attract the best entrepreneurs? How are you going to compete for the best deals? How are you going to really, support and add value? So today we talked about the rise of direct AI tech investing is absolutely increasing across the board.
Oh, yeah, I agree with it. And the thing is, we go around the world. We have 185 companies in our family office now, right?
Yeah.
And we find those companies from pre-seed to Series C. We find those companies and we work with them. We use a network and contacts, operational expertise and access to capital. And on one side, you circumvent things, but the other side, you help them. Because the other things, the entrepreneurs are complaining because the typical VC has only 10% have ever built a company. They're not operators. They don't know how to operate companies. And they have degrees in finance from top tier universities who use financial models to drive everything. Well, guess what? That's not how it works in being an entrepreneur. It's not all financial driven. There's some gut feelings about it and some things, relationships are critically important. And sometimes we forget. And, I was with one of the guys that works with one of the top VCs in the Valley. I won't mention his name, but he said to me, they become your greatest cheerleaders.
Right.
They become cheerleaders. And so that's the other side. The families have 99. My friends tell me now with Elon Musk now crossing the trillion range, that'll be like 99.2% of the wealth is 1% of the population.
Right.
And so why the hell would you go out and just deal with VCs when the families have it? The problem is the families aren't so easy to get to. There's like a titanium door to find them. And, it says SFO. You think you're going to San Francisco in the airplane.
True. Absolutely. And especially, and one of the follies, source of displeasure from a lot of my SFO and ultra net worth friends, right, is that this 2 and 20, and of course, very few of the very top tier VC firms, 30% carried interest, right, 70% back to the LPs. they're actually not happy with that because a lot of them underperform. They still get paid 2% management fees.
Yeah.
And when you look at all the equation, the LPGP structures, right? Some of them are getting more and more into SPVs and stuff like that. That's another topic. And, it's kind of like, the math is not adding up here. And just like when you look at all the mutual funds out there, most of them underperform. Why? All the layers of fees. By the time it gets to the consumer that invests, you're underperforming.
Yeah.
Most of the mutual funds, no one in the right minds would like, except for now when it comes to family offices, right? What I know is that there may be three categories. You got the 8-9 figure SFOs, and the joke is that my friends at that category, they don't mind adding a 0 or 2 to their net worth. And then you got the billion-dollar, the multi-billion-dollar SFOs. They're a lot more institutional with big teams and all that. And a lot of the smaller entrepreneurial SFOs that I know about, it's a one-man show with an overhead, or with some people helping them. They outsource many things, right? And especially with AI right now, you could have a lot of outsourced ways of doing things that's hyper efficient, right? Much more derivative effect, exponential, effective. You have to know what you're doing, of course. And what I'm also seeing is that when it comes to investing directly, okay, there's a couple of categories, right? Of course, the traditional VC way for talking is like, okay, the startup, pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B, Series C, etc. That's traditional linear thinking. Yes, most of that still applies, etc. You see that all the time. Within the AI solution stack, you got infrastructure, you got, and the infrastructure AI, chips, GPUs, data centers, energy, grid, etc. And then you got the physical AI, the edge AI layer, and you got apply AI layer. So Acquired Capital even says that apply service layer is where all the margins are. My own apply patented AI tech venture, we believe that we're going to take off like a rocket ship. It's an apply layer. It's a legacy system that we're disrupting, right? But I keep it kind of low profile. So what I'm noticing is that when it comes to investing, there's a difference between the principal, the matriarch, patriarch, decision maker of the family investing versus some workers that work for them, some executives, third party staff working for them. Just like GPs, just like people working at iBanks and finance firms, investment firms, you work for someone, then the metrics of your success is measured differently. Yeah. Now, the metrics of Gary Fowler, you control your own destiny. You do whatever the hell you want, right? Then you can move a lot quicker, you see. Just like when you look at some of the very top VC firms out there, and one of them's got 8 billionaire GPs right now, they actually move very fast when it comes to the very early stage ones. Yeah. It's not like, whenever I hear people, investors saying that, oh, that startup, it's a early stage, I'm going to do lots and lots of DD, and I'm going to do that. It's like, man, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, that type of mindset, it's great for public equities or late stage with a lot of data you can analyze and all that. But just like what you mentioned before, is that when it comes to the earlier stage ones here, you really place a bet. Is it a new category? Is it a new system? Is it disrupting something big? Is it solving real problems? Is it going to be truly impactful? Is it great for society? Whether it's individual, family, enterprise, governments, is it going to return a shitload of money to the founders, executives, and investors? Is it a 1-2x play through a 5x play? Is it a 100x play? Is it couple 100x or 1000x in MOIC? Multiple over invested capital. So Sequoia, for example, when they invest in Dropbox, they move so fast that in a term sheet, they said, okay, the valuation, we're going to leave it blank. But we just want in. Because they see that it's a new category. It's a new system, new category that they're going to dominate. And I believe in these guys, you see. Now, when it comes to investing in the later stage and the SpaceX and all that, then lots of data, SpaceX acquired XAI, acquired X, which used to be Twitter. They might merge with Tesla. Lots of data, lots of institutional, lots of process, right? That's a different play. So there are different categories, I find. We could talk all day long about that. I think we have half an hour, right?
Categories, so the other thing is artificial intelligence is transforming every industry. How do you see AI changing the way family offices source deals, perform due diligence, manage portfolios, and identify opportunities? What's your feeling about that?
Well, when it comes to AI, you and I know that it comes in two parts, right? One is investing into AI-related plays, ventures. One is the other area is using AI individually, within your family office, within your company, your nonprofit, your government agency. And how do you use AI to be a lot more productive efficiently? And now in Silicon Valley, a new term is called, what's it called? AI vampires or something like that. The smart people, the AI software engineers is making like $50 million, right? Because they're so skillful in using AI and certain select agents that they co-build and then kind of manage it, where they themselves, one person is like as productive as 100 persons, right? More or less, etc. So how do you use AI within a single family office is that research is fantastic. In fact, artificial general intelligence, that AGI is here already yesterday. Okay. What I use AI on a daily basis, in fact, I cloned Jason Ma using one of the Gen AIs. It's been so useful in all sorts of ways, right? In my writing, editing, research, strategy, and I'm still learning, right? It's like in the old days, decades ago, things change like every couple of years. Now it's every week or week.
What did you use to do yours?
I have some people to help me set up a system, and now I know how the system methodology works, and then I'm just sort of cloning using one of the top Gen AIs. I mean, you got OpenAI, you got Gemini, Google, you got Claude, you got Anthropic, right? So one of those that I use. I also use multiple AIs as well. But you and I know that AI is a species. It's a three-dimensional species. You got other, in addition to LLMs, right? You got three-dimensional world labs. Is very interesting. I'm also watching Thinking Machine Labs, the former CTO for OpenAI. And you're looking into one that might be a competitor to one of the top Gen AIs out there. But that's just one of the categories. There's many categories out there. I don't think we have enough time to cover all that. So as for myself, my interest is more on the high margin ones, where I don't have to spend my tech company, AI tech company. We're not in the business of having to spend billions to buy compute, right? Yep. It's about compute, algorithms, data, it's horizontal, vertical, and then you got infrastructure up to apply. And then, now data centers all about space. I'm in Silicon Valley. I see shit on a daily basis, right? So I'm surrounded by the best and the brightest, from teenagers to 60-something-year-olds, 70-something-year-olds all the time. So to me, it's like a no-brainer. And I pick areas that I'm interested in where I could use my own skill set and mindset to create the best impact for the world, but also hopefully in the future, the financial rewards for all the stakeholders would be rather delicious. That's how I think. And I still get my 8 hours of sleep, health, wealth, happiness, kind of diet, fitness, and enjoy and watch movies with my wife and family time. I spend 1.5 hours meditating on a daily basis. And despite my busy schedule, I schedule my work around my sleep, and I'm a happy boy, So I wake up every day grateful and inspired. That's how we should live. Remember, you missed the Philanthropy in the Age of AI, the opening panel at SVEF. You spoke in the SFO panel the day after. And during that panel where I moderated, I chaired the whole event. And I encourage, hey, Silicon Valley, let's take our philanthropy and our giving and our charity to the next level. Don't just work, right? We're 24/7. So China is 996, right? 9 a.m., 9 p.m., 6 days a week. Silicon Valley is like 24/7, right? Minus sleep and family. We're very used to that. It's no big deal. But enjoy life a little more, work your butt off, but, don't make sure you're not going to reduce your lifespan.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. When you're younger,
you're an expert on that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. When evaluating an AI startup today, what signals indicate genuine defensibility versus a company that's simply riding the AI hype cycle? What do you think's real and not? How do you go down through and look at that?
One common mistake that people have in Silicon Valley, in which the world follows, right? Let's face it, let's be truthful. DC, Mar-a-Lago, Beijing, Silicon Valley are three of the most powerful places on earth, right? What we do here, people follow. There's a lot of mini, micro Silicon Valleys out there in their own things, right? The herd mentality, follow the herd. A pack of, okay, that hasn't changed at all. Now, because because Elon, Sam Altman, the Anthropic guys, etc., talk all the time. So all the news, right, legacy media, social media talks mostly about them. So people know only about them plus a little bit, but they don't know the bulk of all these other opportunities that might be a lot more delicious and real. Where your multiple over invested capital could be 100x, couple hundred X.
Yeah,
They're out there. My company included, right? But they just follow the herd. That's what they heard, and it's comfortable. It also depends on your investment theses, investment, risk appetite, respect. When it comes to multi-billion-dollar SFOs, typically a lot of them like to, kind of write a check, tens of millions or hundred millions and all that. But
yeah,
the multiple is actually not very high, but it's okay for them because it's part of a wealth preservation strategy. In addition to adding, adding wealth, right? It's about wealth preservation and growth. For the 8-9 figure SFOs that I know, they on average they tend to have a higher risk tolerant appetite because most of them became first generation wealth being entrepreneurs, so they get it, right? It's entrepreneurial mindset. There's a difference between entrepreneurial SFO versus bureaucratic, IC heavy, investment committee heavy, bureaucratic institutional SFOs out there. Okay. And then the latter parts got a lot of third-party staff working for the principals. So their metrics are a little different, right? I know a lot of them. Honestly speaking, not many impress me, And my thoughts is that I would never hire these guys.
yeah.
And some of them are good, but there's a lot of them is like, why are you even here? I think to myself, impolitely, right?
Yeah.
So there's different. Depends on the person, really. When you talk to one SFO, it's a trite saying, right? You talk to only one SFO. They're all very different.
Oh yeah, way different. So, how, and if you look at it when you're doing that, so what are the biggest mistakes founders make when approaching high net worth individuals? And
Yeah. Most of them are not many in Silicon Valley, especially, high IQ everywhere, but not that many has got high 3EQ, okay? Emotional, social, and leadership intelligence. So for example, I was a Thiel Fellowship mentor way back, okay? And of all the AI tech young billionaires out there, centimillionaires, there's only a handful. The majority are actually former Thiel fellows. So I know how the system works, right? These guys are brilliant. One example, Dylan, the founder of, oh my God, what the hell is that? He's a billionaire now. He's around 30 something, right? And when I met him, among all the young Thiel fellows, the
Yeah.
late teens and early 20 something year olds in a mansion in Atherton, because they co-share that mansion, right? A lot of people live there in the same thing. I met him. One thing that I noticed that, Dylan, you're different. Your 3EQ, your practical, emotional, social, leadership intelligence, including your communication, critical thinking skills, it's even beyond the average Thiel fellow.
Yeah.
Today, he's a billionaire. So he's one of the billionaires out there. That's a difference that I see is your practical, emotional, social leadership intelligence. In my mentorship framework as chief mentor of next gen leaders, I have a framework called 4S: visionary, story, state, strategy, soft skills, plus hard skills for the age of AI, and along with your execution ability, right? That is hyper important right there. So that is the most important thing that stays with you. Hard skills get obsolete very quickly. You have to
Yeah.
stay on top.
Yeah.
Okay. Competition is not AI. Competition are people in your field who use AI better than you do. So back to family offices, you could certainly use it for part of the research DD process. You could certainly use it to make more efficient part of your overall process based on your operation. Is it small or big, right? Those are different equations. And you have to get into it. AGI is here already, I tell you. It is so useful. It's incredible,
No, I
So,
agree with you. You've mentioned next, or you've mentored next generation leaders around the world.
right.
What qualities do future leaders need that previous generations may not have needed? How has it changed today versus 20 years ago in terms of the skill sets that they need?
I think the overwhelming skill set is really, human beings, the soft skills hasn't changed much at all. Okay, it's the same thing. Keep going, but keep improving, growing, contributing. As for myself, you and I, we are boomers, right? Even though you and I look like teenagers, rather technically almost a senior age,
Yeah.
but my energy level, your energy levels are Gen Z. Even my students are Gen Z. Mr. Wang, you got so much energy. It's crazy, right? And I think staying on top of AI is hyper important. Like I said before, 4S and 3EQ, that is my overall North Star right there. That's your practical operating system and skills and direction. Okay. Overall, I like with all my students, right? All my private mentees and students, and I got private mentees that range from teenagers to 60 something year olds. I find that the 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old CEOs, entrepreneurs, executives, they want me to help them to take their business, career, personal success to the next level with well-being, with better relationships, better happiness, of course, make more money, right? Greater impact. That
Yep.
applies to you and me, I'm sure, correct?
Yep.
And so it's really your practical visionary story. In fact, in my article, SFOs and ultra net worth investors, the rise of smart direct AI tech investing, I mentioned that you got to have a visionary growth mindset, especially if you want to invest in earlier stage AI tech plays where you could have 100x or couple 100x or 1000x MOIC, multiple over invested capital. You got to have to place bet and read it, apply the best of your intuition. You got to believe in the team. You got to believe in the system, the vision. You have to bet on them. That's exactly how Sequoia Capital invests, okay? Is that they bet on this vision, right? The best way to predict the future is to create one, okay?
Yeah.
Control it. Like that's what we do in our tech company. We're creating the future, man. We know we're going to dominate the category, which is new that we created, right? And we also got all the system patents as well. And that is hyper important. So it's like, how do you have the mindset to build value for the customers and for the partners and return a lot of money back to the team and the investors, right? That's value building. That second part of the equation, of course, is risk mitigation. People, IP, competition, market, etc. You got to be very calculating when it comes to risk mitigation, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to earlier stage, and then the most important risk to mitigate is really the people you're betting on. Or that my joke is that are they serial killers is going to kill you? Let's make sure they're not, and then make sure that their character, which is the sum of all habits and choices, it's palatable, right? It does not have to be perfect, And if you're the best rocket scientist CEO, I'm going to place bets on you. Make sure your team around you could communicate real well. It's all over the map, right? Whenever people bet only on the CEO, it's like I shake my head. No, man, it's a team, okay? So bet on a team, and is this scalable? And in my 20,000 hours of mentoring, coaching one-on-one people, and also applied research, writing, speaking, and I wrote a book called Young Leaders 3.0. A small part of that is a relationship cycle, right? Forming. It's easy to form. Meet people over the bar, do business. The next step could be storming. Then you fight like hell.
Yep.
The next storm, are you norming or not? Are you leading or norming? And then performing. So go through the cycle. And one thing about family businesses is that, most of the businesses in America, in the world, are actually family businesses. God is a family business, okay? So most of the businesses or SMEs, man, are family businesses.
Yeah.
Right? You look at Saudi Arabia, you got UAE, you look at Qatar and all that. Those are family businesses. The governments are family businesses, right? I run a family business. And in addition to building a AI tech company, so I think overall, your visionary growth mindset, your skill set, your strategic thinking, and the execution ability, that doesn't change at all. The only change in the past few years, which is accelerating very quickly, is AI. How to use AI depends on which part, right? Use Gen AI, certainly. Today is still more two-dimensional, but three-dimensional is coming as well. So have to use AI, apply AI very well for your own operations.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Listen, we're coming up to the top of the show. We'll have to do a part two of this thing, but I have a lightning round of questions. One technology you're most excited, and these are just short answers. One technology you're most excited about.
The technology in my own applied AI tech company. Let's just say that we're disrupting a large $700 billion legacy industry. It's a new system that we created.
So, one mistake that destroys more startups than anything else.
Pride, ego, big ego and pride. Be more humble. I call it practical humility. No matter how old or young you are, have to keep on growing and contributing. Okay, make sure you could differentiate and discern whether the devil is talking to you in the thoughts, okay, directly, indirectly, or God's talking to you,
Yeah.
or somewhere in between.
One book every entrepreneur should read.
Oh, so many, man, so many. Okay, about wartime CEO versus peacetime CEO. A hard thing about hard things is fantastic. Written by Ben Horowitz before he founded with Mark Andreessen A16Z. $1 trillion Coach is great. When it comes to investing, the Growth Handbook by Elad Gil is fantastic.
One prediction about AI in 2035. What do you think?
Oh my God, there's going to be so many robots at your home, in your home, everywhere. Don't bet against Elon. Might be off a little bit, but it's coming already. And I'm just praying that the software is always reliable. Otherwise, the AI is going to rip your throat out physically. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Put your children to death. You probably don't want that to happen. Plus many other things. Space is going to be a commodity by then.
So, closing thoughts, Jason, and how do people get a hold of you?
I would say the most important thing to improve is always ourselves. Okay, not out of vanity, but out of impact, not bullshit DEI impact. Okay, out of real impact for society, to improve our own mindset, skill set, and work and live with love, joy, peace, and patience, man. Right, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, the fruit of the spirit. That's part of my spiritual life outcomes. But of course, I work and play and sleep and all that. I'm very playful, okay? You know that. And, do things with love, truth all the time, and pragmatism, strategic pragmatism.
No, I agree with you. So, Jason, I appreciate.
Reach me. Just go to 3EQ, my family business website, THREEEQ.com. Everything's there. 3EQ.com.
No, that's great. Thanks for taking
Thank you,
time
man.
from your busy schedule to join us. And thanks to all of you for joining one more time. GST Presents Top Global Startups. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. We will back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Gary. That was fun.